Ayumu Tanaka and Hiroshi Maya are the only members of their school's shogi club. During their first match, Ayumu tells Hiroshi that she looks cute, thinking he might have a crush on her. Hiroshi tries to make him confess by offering a hug and later a kiss, but Ayumu refuses because he has promised himself that he will only confess his feelings once he beats her in a match. Later on, Hiroshi sees Ayumu being invited to join the kendo club, but she feels relieved when he tells her that he will stay with her in the shogi club. One day, when one of Hiroshi's friends decides not to join the club because she has a boyfriend now, Hiroshi asks Ayumu what he would do in that situation. His answer makes Hiroshi think that he might want her to be his girlfriend, but Ayumu remains firm on his promise. Sometime later, even though she doesn't like physical education PE class, Hiroshi attends it after being encouraged by Ayumu. Despite trying to resist Ayumu's compliments, Hiroshi can't help but soften when Ayumu gets close to her to see her side of the shogi board. After school, Ayumu invites Hiroshi to share his umbrella as they walk home together. She happily accepts and tells him that they might have the chance to share it again someday. On sports day, Hiroshi's friend Maki teases her for being so close to Ayumu. During his competitions, Ayumu does well, prompting some boys to approach him to join their sporting club. However, Hiroshi tells them about their shogi club, but they deny even knowing that club existed. Ayumu tells a depressed Hiroshi that he will get their club noticed and attract potential members. When she says that would make her happy, Ayumu becomes even more motivated. They then nervously hold each other during the three-legged race, which results in constant tripping. Later, Ayumu carries Hiroshi towards the referee after he got a challenge in a slip of paper, flustering her. Later in the library, Sakurako Mikage hypnotizes Takeru Kakuryu into joining the shogi club after Ayumu asks him, but they realize they will not be able to walk home together. After school, Ayumu tells Hiroshi that he got another member for their club. They celebrate with taiyaki, and Hiroshi embarrasses herself after she says she likes the shogi piece that bears Ayumu's name, flattering him. Elsewhere, Sakurako and Takeru enjoy some taiyaki together. Hiroshi attempts to get Ayumu to notice her new hairstyle, after Sakurako takes Takeru away with her. Ayumu exhibits jealousy to Hiroshi for complimenting Takeru. In the library, Takeru asks Sakurako if she likes anyone, which she denies. When she asks him the same question, he lies to her and says he does not like anyone. This causes them to promise to help each other out after they have found love. Sometime later, Ayumu asks Hiroshi on a date. After she does not refuse, Ayumu looks for her in their culture festival and finds her selling yakisoba. As such, he decides to help her. Now free, Hiroshi caves in on the date and they have a great time. After Maki finds and teases them, Hiroshi admits that it is her first date, but Ayumu expresses his joy for having the honor. They then enter a haunted house where Hiroshi is shocked when Ayumu holds her hand. Takeru becomes nervous while hiding in the haunted house with Sakurako, so he bursts out yelling, scaring Hiroshi. Afterwards, Hiroshi says she enjoyed herself, prompting Ayumu to ask her to call him by his first name, which embarrasses her. Ayumu overreacts when Hiroshi tries to scare him, leaving her shaken. He then places Hiroshi in a box after she says that she is cold. As they clean their club room, Hiroshi finds an old DVD player. She asks Ayumu if he has DVDs. Initially believing he is hiding an adult film, she is relieved when it turns out to be a horror movie. Hiroshi agrees to start a match with less pieces, enabling Ayumu to defeat her. Before he can say anything, however, a teacher arrives and spoils their moment. Afterwards, as Takeru walks home with Sakurako, they agree to spend their Christmas together. Later, Ayumu tells Hiroshi he meant to say that he wishes to beat her in a fair game and wishes her a happy new year, embarrassing her. Ayumu feels down, however, as he was unable to ask her out. On New Year's Day, Maki ditches Hiroshi after they run into Ayumu at the temple. Ayumu untimely asks Hiroshi to spend Christmas with him. They then receive their luck, and Hiroshi reveals she wished for their club to become official. As such, Ayumu says he asked for her wish to come true. Hiroshi dreams of Ayumu nearly kissing her. They go to a library the next day where Ayumu buys shogi books and learns of Hiroshi's favorite manga. After Ayumu asks her if she thinks about him, an embarrassed Hiroshi takes him to a restaurant where the chef tells him some of her childhood anecdotes. Near Hiroshi's house, they run into Kin, her cat. As he says pets resemble their owners, he begins calling Kin all sorts of cute adjectives, making Hiroshi think he is saying them to her. They nearly kiss when he catches Hiroshi after Kin jumped on her. Elsewhere, Takeru and Sakurako are watching a movie where Sakurako imitates the female protagonist. However, Sakurako fails to kiss Takeru after the final scene differs from the ending of the book the movie is based on. Outside, she asks him if he would have preferred the other ending, which Takeru confirms. That night, Hiroshi accidentally video calls Ayumu. As they talk, she becomes flustered after Ayumu says he feels as if they were together. Hiroshi hangs up after he falls asleep, but is too embarrassed to sleep herself. Hiroshi gets ayumu chocolate for Valentine's Day. After teasing her, Maki tells Hiroshi to find the perfect moment. Later, Sakurako prevents Takeru from attending the shogi club by seizing the chocolate she gave him. Meanwhile, Hiroshi practices her gift presentation. However, she gets too nervous when she sees Ayumu uneasy. She tries to slip the chocolate into his bag, but she trips and reveals it instead. She then nervously gives it to Ayumu, delighting him. Elsewhere, Sakurako gives Takeru a chocolate with a heart, which she says he likes after eating it. Sometime later, they all study for their exams. Sakurako teases Takeru by whispering to his ear. Hiroshi asks Ayumu if they are dating, pointing out how obvious Sakurako's crush for Takeru is due to how close she comes to him. However, she comes too close to Ayumu herself and backs down nervously. On White Day, Ayumu gives Hiroshi a gift. He then reveals that while he answered every question correctly during the exam, he placed it in the wrong column, meaning he has to take remedial class. He apologizes for being unable to play, disappointing Hiroshi. Ayumu and Hiroshi go with Takeru and Sakurako to see in which classroom they are this year, and Hiroshi is happy that she shares the same classroom number with Ayumu. Later on, Hiroshi runs into Maki's friends Miku and Hinano. The next day, Hiroshi and Ayumu prepare flyers to invite people to their club, as Ayumu remembers when he joined the club a year prior. As he walked with Takeru to join the kendo club, Takeru told him what love felt like. Suddenly, a flyer flew towards his face as Hiroshi apologized, resulting in him immediately fell in love with her. Back in the present, a girl named Rin Kagawa appears, intending to take both Ayumu and Takeru back into the kendo club. Ayumu agrees to a bout where he will join the kendo club if he loses. As they set off, Hiroshi remembers all they have gone through and realizes that even if she officializes her club, it will not matter if Ayumu is not with her. As such, she rushes to see the match where Ayumu delights her when he says he won. Having lost, Rin agrees to join the shogi club. After the club becomes official, Hiroshi has Ayumu play against Rin, becoming shocked when Rin wins. She then becomes nervous when she believes Rin will take the club presidency from her if she defeats her. However, she receives encouragement from Ayumu, which enables her to win. Later on, Hiroshi asks Ayumu if he would have preferred being by themselves in the club. However, his answer flusters her, so she tries to get him back, but Rin interrupts her. Rin later asks Hiroshi if she likes Ayumu, which she denies but says she would like it if he liked her back. After she gets confirmation from Takeru, Rin confronts Ayumu. After he says he did leave the kendo club for Hiroshi, Rin remembers how she wanted to beat Ayumu at kendo in order to confess to him. As such, she says she will help him improve at shogi in order to confess. Afterwards, Hiroshi holds a party for the new members, and Hiroshi thanks Ayumu for his help in making the club official. Hiroshi then approaches him, but only to remove a beetle from his neck, embarrassing them both after he says he thought she would hug him. Ayumu asks Hiroshi if she wants to hang out during the last day of Golden Week. However, she is disappointed to learn it will be a club outing. Sometime later, Takeru and Sakurako are looking for four-leaf clovers, which leads to an awkward moment after Takeru finds one. The next day, while Hiroshi waits for Ayumu and Rin, she is approached by Maki, Miku, and Hinano. Once Ayumu and Rin finally arrive, they head to the arcade where they meet up Takeru. After they play some games, Ayumu and Hiroshi have their pictures taken in a photo booth. At school, Sakurako informs Takeru another boy told her that he likes her. When she wonders how does it feel to like someone, he explains it. Recalling their previous outing, Sakurako realizes she has a crush on Takeru. When Ayumu and Hiroshi arrive at Hiroshi's house, they have a conversation about Hiroshi's father. Just as Ayumu is about to leave, Hiroshi's father shows up, which causes Hiroshi to nervously escort Ayumu to the restaurant. There she reveals the reason she was nervous was due to her father giving up his dream of being a professional shogi player. Once Hiroshi's father finds them, Ayumu challenges him to a game of shogi, which her father wins. After the game, Hiroshi's mother reveals the real reason why her father quit, much to his chagrin. At school, Hiroshi informs Ayumu and Rin she will attending the school trip for 3rd years next week. Rin decides to train Ayumu while Hiroshi is away. After school, Hiroshi hangs out with Maki, Miku, and Hinano, while Ayumu hangs out with Rin. Later that night, Ayumu meets up with Hiroshi and he gives her a good luck charm before she leaves the next day. During the class trip, Hiroshi, Maki, Miku, and Hinano visit the great Buddha statue in Nara. Meanwhile in school, Ayumu, Rin, and Takeru have a meeting